welcome back to the Profit Roadmap. I'm your host, Ryan, and this is the premier podcast created for field service pros to help you grow your business, stay on top of the latest trends, and help you provide even more value to the communities that you serve. So today, we're super excited to welcome back Marlen Weber, and welcome for the first time, Kayla Fussell from Explore Technologies. So today, we're going to be talking about lead prospecting. Guys, welcome to Profit Roadmap. How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you, Ryan? Hey, Kayla.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here. Super glad that you guys are on. So obviously I know you guys were colleagues, we work together, but the audience has met Marlen one time, but Kayla, they haven't met you yet. So Marlen, let's start with you. Welcome back. Now, for
Thank you.
Absolutely. So for anybody that might not have seen the last episode, could you tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to Explore?
Sure. So if you haven't checked out the social media episode, check it out. I think a lot of what we'll touch on today, you can benefit from that too. But I have a background in marketing of 7 years or so. I'm currently the marketing manager for SA by Explore, Service Autopilot, that is, which we focus on the lawn care, green, cleaning, landscaping side of the business here. So I'm excited to be talking to field business owners today about marketing and prospecting and making it all cool and exciting for y'all.
Awesome. Kayla, how about you? What's a little bit about your background? How'd you come to work for Explore?
Yeah, for sure. So I currently am the FieldEdge marketing manager. So I do a little bit of everything for FieldEdge. So working on emails, working on trainings, all of those sorts of things. And previous to this job, I worked at a software company as well that was focused on oil and gas. So really similar type of customer in terms of what they like, trends, industry, knowledge, and that kind of thing. So I've done a little bit of everything between events and digital marketing and email marketing, all of the stuff. So it's been nice to put it all together for our FieldEdge members.
Awesome. Well, like I said, guys, super glad to have you guys here. I've got some questions that we're going to run through. We'll kind of see where they take us, but the predominant focus is going to be around lead generation today. Let's start here. I've been watching some Mythbuster episodes. I found out they're all on YouTube. So for anybody that grew up watching that, you can relive that. But let's start off with myths, because I think that's going to be fun. So before we dive too deep here, what is one lead prospecting myth that you guys would love to bust for any of our service industry listeners?
I would say don't rely on having a beautiful website and reviews. Like, as long as my website is fully optimized and I have 5-star reviews everywhere on all platforms, leads will flow. That's a myth because people will go, your prospects will go where you lead them to, hence lead generation, right? The reality is that you have to go out and find your leads and generate a way for them to flow to you. So it's great that you have a beautiful website with beautiful reviews everywhere, but your leads won't come to you unless you start a process for them to flow your way.
Gotcha. Anything to add to that, Kayla?
Yeah, I think that there are so many approaches when it comes to lead generation. I think, it's traditional that it's the marketing or the email that we focus on and everybody sends out emails. But I think in this day and age, I think everybody gets so many emails. Like you open your inbox and there's hundreds and hundreds from all different types of companies, all different industries. So I think kind of coming at it in all different directions and really getting creative in your lead generation and trying to think of ways that resonate with your specific customers versus just going the traditional route.
Absolutely. So one of the things that you said there was that everybody gets a lot of emails. So this is tangential, but I want to get your guys' take on this. I've heard that like some of the more traditional methods of like print marketing are sort of making a resurgence. Is that something that you guys are seeing?
Yes, I think so. I think that we've talked about doing that from a field services perspective. I personally have seen it a lot with holidays coming up and getting Amazon books, Target books. And I have a 1.5-year-old and he literally is obsessed with looking at the catalog. So it's kind of interesting because like kids, for example, of course, that's very different than looking for an HVAC or a plumbing service, but they really like to look at things and they like to, have that experience. So I think getting something in the mail is a really interesting approach that's coming back because it's kind of putting it right in front of you. I think, you can forget about it. Maybe it's not something that you don't need in that exact moment, but like a cleaning service is something that I want that, but I don't think about it every day. But if I got something in the mail, it's like, oh, well, this is top of mind again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something else I'll add to that are door hangers. As a consumer, sometimes annoying because you open your front door when you get a package and then there goes flooding like a bunch of door hangers. But I will say having to pick them up off the ground, I'm right, Ryan. Okay. So you pick them up off the ground and you have to read what it is because you're picking up something and it calls your attention. Something else that you can do to make that a lead generation flow, not just advertising and marketing, add a QR code to that door hanger that leads them to a form or that leads them to free content that they can use for their business. So another way to use traditional print media or marketing and advertising to help with your lead flow as well.
Absolutely. I want to tack onto that. You mentioned having a QR code on there. Recently, I just did a webinar with Mike Callahan from Simple Growth. And one of the projects that he's involved in is Simple Estimates, which does like estimating online. So like it'll use AI to like pull the property and everything. Cool idea is if you're using some sort of like estimating tool, whether you're on the FieldEdge side or you're on the Service Autopilot side, you can put a QR code that links to that tool if it's web-based, and then just let people get quotes right there. So that could be a good way of doing lead gen there as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, all right. So let's keep the ball rolling here. So in your guys' experiences with field service businesses, what have been some of the more surprising ways that you guys have seen companies successfully attract new clients?
Seen businesses attend local events that have nothing to do with lawn care. So neighborhood parties or city events that they have going on. And they'll reach out to homeowners because that's where homeowners and families will be, and we're in the field service industry. So what perfect way to put your name and your business in front of homeowners who need your services. They'll provide free quotes. They'll pass out, going back to print media, they'll pass out business cards. They'll pass out flyers, lead generation forms and content. And that gives you credibility as well because you're going the extra mile and meeting people face to face, which has gone away a little bit when it comes to marketing and lead generation and all the other wonderful ways that we market. So it gives you credibility when you get in front of people who are your customers instead of just using AI, which is great. And we'll talk about ideas on how to use AI. But I think finding the way to marry digital marketing with traditional marketing, I think is the way to go when it comes to field service businesses because it's so personable. You're inviting people to your home. So I think that's a creative way that I've seen people generate leads. And how can you turn down meeting someone face to face who will eventually come into your home to clean, provide HVAC repair, anything like that?
I agree. I think something else that I've seen a lot of is texting. Like if you reach out or you fill out the demo request or inquiry for the service, whatever, then they text you and it's actually a real person. And I think the real person and not just having like where you get to that point of, oh, schedule your appointment, but then it's an automated thing and it's not as simple. I think having that real person that you're going back and forth with is super helpful because we're all busy. Everybody is juggling a lot of different things. So having that where you don't necessarily have to jump on a phone call right then if you're on a meeting or if you're servicing a client, whatever it is, and then just being able to text back and forth is super easy and helpful.
Yeah, I love both of those a lot. When it comes to the event side of things, I love that because, right, you get to kind of skip the process of forming a relationship over like whatever marketing tool you're using, right? You jump straight to it. You're right in front of each other. You can talk to each other. You can kind of get a feel for each other's personality. So you can build that relationship right there. And I think texting almost has that too, right? Texting is like a really like casual way of communicating. So like it doesn't, not to say it doesn't feel professional to text because absolutely that's not the case, but like it definitely, I feel like it cuts through a lot of that like bureaucracy, I guess you can call it that. Mm-hmm. And just sort of lets you connect more directly with the individuals. So super cool. I love both of those. We touched on this a little bit, but talking about digital versus traditional marketing, From your guys' perspectives, what are some of the things that are actually working right now for field service companies to get quality leads? What are some of the trends that you guys are seeing across the board?
A good trend I'm seeing on the more newer side of things for marketing that is not a shocker at all would be AI powered services like chat boxes, anything that it's a little bit contradictory because we just talked about the importance of making it so uh, conversational and making it very personable, but also you have to step away from the business. As a good entrepreneur, you have to step away from your business. And for those moments that you're stepped away, letting things like AI powered services, like a chat box, take care of your prospects when they come through your website and need quotes, need any kind of information, let that help you. So that's a good trend that we're seeing, so that when you come back into the office the next day or whenever, you can work through those leads. So something to be prepared for. And then also would add to that, making sure that your business is set up for any kind of voice demand or command. So long haired businesses near me, not just through typing it. So not just through text, but also through voice, and making sure that your listings are optimized to being found that way as well.
That's a really good point, Marlen. I think I have found myself talking to text or talking into my phone more than usual lately. And I feel like that's a trend that everybody is really, really into. I think there's so many different ways to capture things with AI now. It's kind of scary sometimes, but I think it's important to have that on your website and have that feature, because sometimes someone may have a really simple question that the chat can just spit right back out and they don't need to talk to a person versus a whole conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think something else. Oh,
go ahead, Kayla. Sorry.
I think something else that we are seeing right now is a lot of different trends with the holidays. I think kind of optimizing on that and figuring out how you can bring in some leads before the end of the year, whether it's a holiday deal, a giveaway, giving back to the community through your business, that kind of thing. I think that really resonates with people, and setting themselves up for the new year. That's another play I think that is really strong right now, is figuring out, okay, can we push people to get their HVAC serviced before the cold months, and that kind of thing, kind of optimizing on the season and the weather.
Yeah, beautifully put. The on the AI piece, something that I've been astonished by is how good it's gotten lately. So being able to put something on your website that can handle some of that workload can be really good, and it can feel really organic. Another part there is some people, when they hear the term AI, they get a little intimidated. It's been a running joke that every single episode that comes out of Profit Roadmap that we touch on AI in some capacity, which makes sense, right? Like it is something that is revolutionizing business. Yeah, exactly, right?
It is this crazy tool, I will say.
It's insane. But I feel I've over the 2 years we've been doing this now, I've become a lot more comfortable with it. So for anybody listening that is maybe nervous about the idea of incorporating AI, obviously do due diligence, like find tools that work for you that you're comfortable with. But implementing those things, they're force multipliers to really, really help your team not have to focus on like the menial things and allow them to do things that essentially generate you more money, like lead generation. So
for sure.
I want to put that disclaimer on there. That is something that comes up a lot. That's one of the things that we get a lot of questions around, is AI is scary, is what that boils down to. But it's not as bad as people make it out to be.
No, it's not.
You know what? You go, Kayla.
I was going to say, I think that it is cool to play with at first when you're getting used to it and try to figure out, like, ask it different questions and see what it says before I've used it for work. I feel like that has been really helpful to be like, okay, what will it say to this? I recently saw something and the girl was asking ChatGPT to create her meal plan for the week, and she was giving it certain things that she had in her fridge, all of these different requirements, and it was spitting out a full meal plan with a grocery list. And I was like, that is something I can get on board with.
That's something that I need to try.
Yeah.
Like meal prepping has been, we're going to go on a little tangent, guys, so let's buckle up. I've been doing like more meal prep so me and my partner Corey, we started going to the gym together, and then cooking. So I'm gonna start using that for my meal plan. That's genius. I can't believe I didn't think of that.
I know. It was really cool. It listed out full recipes, not even just the list. So try it out and let us know.
I have another buddy who. Yeah, go ahead, Marlen.
Oh no, I said do let us know. But I was going to add to that to help with the nerves of, oh, how do I use ChatGPT? Treat it as if you're talking to someone in real life. Like, hey, help me out finding information about X, Y, and Z. And then it'll give you something. And if you don't like what it gives you, you don't have to assume or pretend that ChatGPT didn't work. To say something like, you can even name it. You can say something like, hey, Chatty or Susan, please give me more information, or make it shorter, or try it again. So the way it helps me is not thinking of it as a device that's taking our jobs away and doing this and that. Just treat it as you're talking to someone helping you with something. Like, help me with my meal plan because we're struggling out here. So Ryan, let us know how that goes for you.
I absolutely will. So the next time we have you on, I'll make sure that we circle back to it and we'll talk about that.
Very important.
Perfect.
Yeah. For sure. So Marlen, your ChatGPT is a girl, is what I learned just now. Susan?
It depends on it depends on the day. Sometimes it's Susan, sometimes it's, because they get sassy sometimes. They're like, I don't understand your command. I'm like, girl. So it depends. It depends.
I think something else with the ChatGPT that I have seen, and I was talking to Marlen about this earlier, is there's an app. There's a bunch of different apps, but I've been getting targeted ads for a certain one that will record your whole meeting and spit out minutes. And it's like in different sections and bullet points and everything. That is really interesting to me because sometimes meetings go really quick and you can't multitask and take notes and all of the things at the same time. So it is an interesting play to use it for tools like that, where you're in a meeting or trying to capture all the notes. Yeah,
maybe I'll bring one into the profit roadmap so it can spit out our descriptions for us.
It's worth a shot.
All right, so we'll circle back around. We've talked about AI, I think, enough for everybody to check off their bingo card for this episode. When it comes to field service businesses, a lot of our listeners are likely wearing multiple hats. So they might actually be out in the field, but they're also in charge of marketing and HR and all that other stuff. So what are maybe some more simple things from a marketing strategy perspective that they might be able to implement this week to start generating some leads? Kayla, let's start with you on that one.
Yeah, for sure. I think kind of circling back to that holiday idea, I think it's a really great time to optimize on that. So I think some things you could do, if there is something you could discount or give away, or another perspective with the holiday kind of give back campaign idea would be to give them something that will help them, maybe a piece of content, maybe some sort of learning lesson for them, like whether it's why you should get your HVAC serviced every winter, kind of an educational tool for them to use. I think that is something that, it's not having to discount your product. It's not having to, give a crazy giveaway away. But it's something that's super helpful and really can help them with their, HVAC, plumbing, house cleaning, whatever it may be.
Beautiful. Marlen, how about you on the SA side?
No, I would agree 1,000% with providing content, given something that adds value to business owners. Especially Ryan, like you said, for business owners who are out in the field, make sure you have a lead process set up so that you're getting stuff or leads fed to you while you're out. I will say though, none of that will work for you if you don't have a proper follow-up process for the leads that are flowing in. In this industry, you have to remember that speed is senior to quality. And what I mean by that is that if the winter is coming up and my heater goes out, I'm not going to sit around and wait for the company with the best reviews to get back to me, because that's the one I work with. And I'm not going to respond to any other emails or quotes from another HVAC company that got back to me. No, speed is senior to quality. So the first company that reaches back out to me after I give out my lead information, that's the first company I'm going to go for. If I need Christmas lights installed before the holidays because I have a party coming up or whatever, I'm going to respond to the first company that comes back to me. So whatever lead gen campaign you want to have out there, whether it's social, emails, SEO, paid ads, whatever it may be, make sure that your follow-up process is up to speed as well. Make sure that you're following up on those leads that are being fed to your company.
Absolutely. Please follow up on your leads, guys.
Yes.
On the academy side of this, the number of people that are not following up on their leads, just, I'm going to leave it there. I could go off on a tirade. Follow up, please. And do it
very
quickly.
important.
Do it very quickly. So around the seasonal aspect, we're going into the holiday season. We've got Thanksgiving coming up. We've got Christmas. Are there any promos that you guys have seen be successful on either side of the house for the industries that like maybe you'd pitch here?
That's a
I know
really
I'm
good
putting you on the spot
question.
with that one.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a really good question. Like Kayla said earlier, I don't think it's about discounting anything at this point as far as promos go. I would say think of your marketing campaigns as adding value to your leads and your customers. So giving them free content. Well, that's hard to say because what content are you going to give people? I think I said that thinking of business to business marketing, not business to consumer marketing. Maybe a referral program would work really well around this time of the year. I know for field service businesses, it's important to have dense routes so that you're hitting as many houses as possible in a shorter amount of time. So what you could do with that is, Ryan, if I'm servicing your home, if you refer me to your neighbor who is not currently one of my customers, I'll give you 50% off discount or whatever promotion you want to give out the next time I see you. Or if you're a cleaning company, Ryan, if you hook me up with your neighbor who's not currently on my client list, I'll give you deep cleaning come January when your agenda opens up a little bit more. So maybe a referral program so that your routes become more dense during the holidays.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I like the referral program. And I think something to kind of go along with that would be utilizing yard signs and things like that. And kind of, okay, so I don't know who cleans my neighbor's house, but if they had a sign, I would 100%, reach out. I think personally, we use a mosquito service and they always put a sign out at the end of our street or at the end of our house. And our neighbors recently told me, oh yeah, we saw that and we called that same one because y'all used it. So I think there's a lot of power in utilizing referrals and family and friends. Like those are the first people that you talk to when you want to use something. I think Marlen and I, even though we don't live in the same state or city, we are always like, oh, well, who do you use for this? Or where do you go for that? Because it can cross over, but it is interesting to get others' opinions at the same time.
Yeah. Out of curiosity.
Brian, we can...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, when we get off the call, we can tell you what we're talking about when we say, what do you use for this? What do you use for that? But
I live in an apartment complex because I don't like to deal with problems.
It's fair.
So
houses come with a lot of problems.
They come and do the lawn. Yeah. If the AC doesn't work, I make a phone call and it's taken care of. I don't have to worry about it. So
that's true.
That's one of the things that I've decided it aren't worth it for me where I'm at in my life at the moment. So
there you go.
Kayla, when it comes to the sign thing, do they incentivize you to leave that sign out, or do they just put it out? Like, what does that process actually look like from the end user perspective? Yeah,
they just put it out, and then usually we'll leave it up for a couple days, and then we'll go ahead and take it down ourselves. But there actually isn't an incentive from their end right now that we don't get anything for keeping it out there. But just out of good faith, I think we really utilize that service and we really need that service for our mosquitoes. So
yeah, absolutely.
If our neighbors spray as well, that is better for us because less mosquitoes. So I think things like that, you want to trust someone that is, especially when they're coming into your home, you want to trust them, and it makes it a little bit easier when someone that is using the same service.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. Especially in the Carolinas, the mosquitoes.
Yes. Bad.
So we touched on referrals a little bit, and that's something that I did want to ask you guys about. So service industry referrals are golden. There's some of the best marketing that you guys can get. Is there anything specific, Marlen, you touched on this a little bit, that business owners might be able to do to turn their existing customer base into lead generation via referrals?
Yes. Let me make sure I'm understanding your question. Is there anything that business owners can do with their current member base or client base to turn referrals into clients? Is that the question?
Let me broaden it a little bit, actually. So
Sure.
what could business owners do to turn their existing customer base into lead generators in and of themselves?
Gotcha. I think providing incentives, which I say that, and I know that that could be like painful to business owners because you're not always, as a business owners, you're not always in the position to be providing incentives to people. Like Kayla said, you kind of do it out of the goodness of your own heart if you like that service. But maybe the way you incentivize it is by saying, I'll add a free add-on next month. So a deep clean. Or instead of doing bi-weekly next month for your services, I'll do it weekly or something like that, which I know takes time, and time is money. So through a certain way, it is a resource that you're giving away. But if you can find a way to incentivize referrals to use your current client base to make them into lead generators, do that. But I think it won't hurt to always ask. I think honesty is the best policy when it comes to everything in life. So if you go to your client base, especially if you're a small business, and you say, listen to me, I'm trying to grow this business and you and I have a good relationship. You like my services and you're happy with me. Can you please become a referral or a referring person and help me out with generating leads? You'll be surprised at how far that will go. People are so willing to help people that they're happy with. So I don't want to say if all else fails, but if you have the opportunity to just use that piece of honesty and be genuine where you are and where you are with your business, and that you're building a clientele and building your route density, that will go really far. I'm always surprised to see that people are actually amazing, regardless of what's going on everywhere. People want to help people. So give that a try if you're not in a spot in your business where you can incentivize anything right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think one thing too to keep in mind is the tracking of it. So if like on your website, when someone fills out an interest form or a demo form or whatever it may be, make sure that there is a referral option where they can type in a name or a neighbor, whatever it may be, because then it lets you have a better track of, okay, we need to make sure we're incentivizing the right people. Because I know that can get messy quickly when you have a lot of different referrals coming from all angles.
Absolutely.
Good one.
Yeah, those are great. Marlen, one of the things that you were talking about that sort of reminded me of a strategy that we talked about in Academy at one point was around referral strategies. So the strategy was basically, I just want to get your opinion on the strategy. The strategy was basically, have like referral cards like that you can give out to people that they can then give to like their friend. It could be like business cards. It could be as inexpensive or as expensive as you want them to be. And then when that gets turned in, that person who referred them, their name is on the back, and then they'll just like send them a thank you. They might not necessarily like advertise it as, oh, hey, if you refer someone, you're going to get something out of it. But when one of those things comes in, they might send them a $50 gift card to Chili's or something like that, like buy them dinner for sending them business. And obviously you can change that reward. You can scale that however you want to do it. What do you guys think about a strategy like that? Like is that something that you think would still be viable?
I think so, 100%. Yeah. You can't go wrong with a thank you. Like you said, any way to say that you're seeing the referral, you saw how it came in. And I think it will, even if that client doesn't continue to refer others, it'll always be a good lasting impression, So I would vote 100%. Anything that you can do that is thoughtful, whether it generates business or not, it will sit well with anybody that you're working with. And even if it doesn't turn into getting more leads and more referrals from that client, it can turn into amazing word of mouth marketing, which will go just as far. So anything thoughtful that you can do, 100% do it. It'll never fall into a bad category. It'll never be misunderstood if you can do something thoughtful for a client.
I agree. I love the almost surprise aspect of the incentive where they don't know that they may get something, and sending that to them, whether it's dropping it off at their house, mail, email, because everybody loves a little surprise gift card or, cookies or whatever it may be. That's always a treat.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the strategy, so basically, go ahead, Marlen.
I was going to say, I'll add to that. Whatever you think of, whatever incentive it is that you're thinking that will work, do it right then and there. Don't sit on it and think, oh, I'll do it next week, because you'll forget, or whatever idea you had that is going to be amazing, you may forget what it is, or you may not have the momentum to do it as passionately as you would the first time around. So when it comes to doing thoughtful things and things that are surprising, like Kayla said, do it in that moment. It'll always come off more genuine because you're literally excited about doing it. And it will, for whatever reason, it comes off way more surprising, way more genuine. And people do appreciate it more when you do it in that excitement, whether instead of saying, oh, that's right, I need to send Ryan and Kayla those thank you notes, and now it's just a hassle. So do it when you're excited to do it, and it goes a long way.
Agreed.
Yeah. Did you have something you want to say on that, Kayla?
I was just going to say, I think testing different things is cool too. Whether it's, a gift card to a restaurant or Starbucks, or, if you have the insight to know if it's a family or whatever the situation is, that is also cool to make that really personal touch. And maybe they have a bunch of kids and they would love a box of crumble cookies or something like that. I think if you have the ability to, test different items, it's worth a shot.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you can so that strategy is something that's very easy to personalize, because you just go out and get the gift cards.
Yep.
And then you can send them to whoever. So if you go out and you buy your gift cards in bulk and you have them, some Chili's gift cards, some crumble cookie gift cards, whatever else it is, you can buy those in bulk and then just, oh, this family is going to appreciate that. Like, let's send them the crumble cookie ones, because $50 at Crumble would go a lot further than $50 at Chili's.
True.
if they have a large family. So
that's true. That's multiple boxes of cookies.
That is multiple boxes of cookies. And the values are completely up to you guys, but the takeaway there is, yeah, absolutely personalize it. I want to hone in on something you said a little bit, Kayla, about like making sure you do it right then and there so you don't forget. When it comes to a strategy like that, one of the things that I think of is like, have somebody on the office side that like owns that procedure. Like the referrals are like Ryan's thing or like Kayla's thing. And then like that person is in charge of making sure those things happen. That way it actually like does happen. Because if you're doing a referral strategy, regardless of what that strategy is, where you're sending stuff out, then like you have to make sure it happens. Otherwise it kind of just stops. It only works as hard as you do. So
yeah, exactly. Or pick a day of the week that this is the day that we send out all the referrals, and maybe it's Friday. Maybe it's a Friday morning or afternoon task that person does.
Kayla and I do something very similar to that already in our marketing efforts. On Fridays, I think both of us on Friday mornings will look at Google reviews and make sure that they're responding, or that we are responding to Google reviews, whether good or bad, and any incentives that we want to put out, like a thank you or whatever it is, every day of, or the same day of the week, every single week, that's taken care of so that it doesn't fall through the cracks or anything.
Yep.
Yeah. Get it into a routine so it doesn't slip. Yeah. I think that's a really, really good point. Let's move on a little bit here. Let's talk social media. So when it comes to social media for field services, where should folks focus their energy? Are some platforms winning over others right now? What are you guys seeing?
Where they're at. So if you're wondering, well, I don't know where my members or where my potential clients could be, in your onboarding process, ask the question, how did you find me? How did you hear about us? And give them either a drop-down menu or a blank text box for them to type in how they found your company. So that moving forward, when you prepare to go to do paid ads, SEO, AdWords, whatever it is, you know where to put your efforts in. So I would say a good a good one-on-one is have your Google listings up to date. People will always, like we said earlier, will pull up their phone, hey, find a lawn care company near me. So make sure everything is optimized in your Google listing. And then to answer your question, Ryan, as far as social media, do a little bit of research and ask how your clients found you, and then go to that platform and create the content that's appropriate for that platform store. So videos, images, text, whatever it is.
I like that. I think for the Google, it's pretty important to have your profile up to date with the right information. And of course, any positive reviews that you have on there. For me, I go to Google before I go to a lot of things. And if you think about like HVAC, for example, you're going to Google HVAC in Raleigh, North Carolina, and ton of different listings are going to come up. So, depending on the person's settings, it may pull up the one that's closest to them. But I do think that everybody should be looking at the Google reviews, but also it's very important to keep your listing up to date. If there's pictures you can add, that's always great. It's easier said than done sometimes, but I think for the actual social media platform, Facebook is similar to Google, where I think people go on there and they search on Facebook and they're looking at the business profile. And if there's different comments or whatever it may be, that's definitely something that people are using as a search tool when it comes to different services.
Yeah, social media is definitely the new search engine optimization.
Yeah.
Like how many times, I think all three of us here can relate to looking up on TikTok or Instagram, I don't know, hairstylist near me or something like
For
that.
sure.
So yeah, don't forget to tag things properly, even when you're using social media, because social is a new SEO. Speaking of trends, it's a new SEO platform.
Well, that leads me pretty squarely on to the next question I had for you guys, which was around trends. So looking ahead, we're basically 2025 already from a business sense. What are some of the trends that you guys are seeing that maybe our listeners should be paying attention to in the field services space? Obviously, we've got social media being kind of the new SEO. What else are you guys seeing?
I'm seeing a lot of user-generated content. So where a customer or a individual is recording themselves talking about a certain product, service, their experience, pros, even maybe cons in there, but a true person and a true customer that is recording their experience. And that adds so much value because it's not something that is just auto-generated or, a content team is putting out, or a marketing manager, office manager that is writing up, but it's a true, real experience from someone that you can really take from that and learn about what you're getting and what to expect.
That's
100% in UGC content. I think we're going from seeing influencers being paid a ton of money to talk about a product to consumers like the three of us here and everybody else listening and watching, us getting a little bit tired of that. And we just want to see like almost a video version of a testimonial. So when I see a real person who is not a content creator or an influencer talking about the great software that they use for their business, or a product, whatever, I am more likely to trust that review or that content. So UGC, not just videos, which videos are great. If you have nothing else to push out videos, they do get larger reach, depending on the platform, of course. But for the most part, you can count on your videos being stretched out a little bit further. If you can then throw in UGC on top of that, user-generated content, do it. It's going back to just being honest. Ask your members or ask your clients to create that for you. See if they're willing to do it out of the kindness of their heart. If not, try to add in a service for free that they can try in return of content that you can use for social media. Yeah.
I think people would be surprised how willing their clients are to generate some content for them.
For sure.
Yes.
Go ahead, Kayla.
Another video idea I think that is cool would be to actually use your employees and have them record short videos of maybe it's a happy Thanksgiving video from the owner, or, maybe it's a day in the life. People like to see different things, and everybody wants the kind of the insider scoop. So if there's any way to show them that, videos are a great tool. And also, I think with the videos, showing them who people are. So this is your office manager. You may talk to her for billing and payments, and this is a technician, and he may come to your house. But kind of taking it from a different perspective with employees and really introducing them, and also making funny videos. I think a trend I've seen lately is maybe it's the CEO or the owner or some individual that knows most of the employees, and they turn around in a chair and they have to guess all the employees' voices. And it's really funny because some of them are really good at it, and then some are terrible. So obviously, if you don't want to put yourself out there, no pressure. But I think it's a fun way to kind of see the inside of a business and the culture that exists within it.
Yeah. That's a good idea, Kayla. Anything with humor. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I think there's all kinds of content on social media and on the internet. So as soon as someone can take a load off and just kind of relax because they saw something funny, and then on top of that, they're a business that you may actually hire, that's the perfect combination.
Yep.
For sure. And Kayla, talking about some of the almost like TikTok trends that you could jump on those and essentially use as marketing, but in a way that is very fun and organic. And it can be very fun for your employees too. Like if you have somebody that likes to do that stuff and like is very much in that headspace, they can do it pretty low effort. It doesn't have to be this giant production value thing where we have DSLRs or gimbals and stuff. Just everybody's got
definitely not.
For
sure.
Going back to what you'd said about user generated content, Marlen, talking about reviews. Again, people being really actually very willing to do that. One of our partners on the Academy side is Sotellus. Is the name of their company. It's run by Troy Howard and his brother. Their whole business model is essentially getting video reviews for you to be able to put on your website and everything. And it's all, they have a whole process that's built into it. It's pretty sweet.
That's really sweet.
It's super cool. And the guys over there are super cool. But they've built a business on it, and they have a process in place. So if you don't want to figure it out for yourself, that's another option that you can go to. So they're not paying me.
They help you. Yeah. So to make sure I understand, they help you find the video content. Is that right?
So basically what Sotellus would do is, let's say that you go out and you complete a dispatch, a call, or a ticket, whatever vocabulary you want to use. Basically at the end of that, they'll have an automated process that will send a text to them and be like, hey, would you be willing to do a little video testimonial for us? So it's the way that they do it, it's pretty automated, but you get some control over it. It's super, super cool. We'll make sure that we put that in the show notes for anybody that does want to check that out. But in terms of user-generated content, you can post those on socials. Those can be super, super powerful. I feel like I had something else that I wanted to say, but I forgot. Last week, for anybody on the Service Autopilot side, you might have been on the Lawn and Landscape State of the Industry webinar they did. One of the things that came out of that around user-generated content that you can do, Kayla, you reminded me of this, was one of the companies on there. I wish I remembered the lady's name, but if you go and you find the recording, it'll be on there, so maybe I'll give her credit in the notes as well. But they have a competition every month for their employees. It's just a photo competition. So obviously they're landscape, so they'll go out and they will just, hey, while you're out there, if you see something that looks cool, take a photo of it or take a video of it or whatever it is. And they can turn around, they can use it on the marketing, and then the employee can win a competition that has, might have some incentive in it, but it doesn't need to be anything crazy, right? I'll snap a couple pictures if I could win $20.
For sure.
And, you might be surprised at some of the the eye and talent that some of your guys might have, or girls. But
that would be
we've done that.
That would be a great idea. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Kayla.
That would be a great idea for Christmas lights, because I bet there is some crazy stuff that people are asked to put up and decorate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So just some ideas that that came up and some tools that you guys might be able to use as you're listening to this.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all that I had for you guys today. So, Kayla, Marlen, thank you guys so much for jumping on here. Very, very much appreciated anytime that we can get you guys on here. If anybody wanted to learn more about Service Autopilot or FieldEdge, is there somewhere specific they should go?
Our websites, we can put them in the show notes, right, Ryan?
We can. We can. ServiceAutopilot.com,
so much
FieldEdge.com.
Yes.
Yeah, we got you. All right, guys.
Of course, our socials, anything. If you go to serviceautopilot.com, FieldEdge.com, you can find our social icons there. Check us out. We do have a ton of, lead generation that you can use. Free for you to use, download, use for your business, use it on your business as well. Social media posts for the upcoming holiday season so that you don't have to think about that, so that you can focus on getting your own leads. So check it out and see what all we have for you guys.
For sure.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.